My name is Bobby Johnson, and John Alday and I started this law firm, Johnson Alday, to protect the people who are being treated unfairly, whether it's by an auto insurance carrier or by a workers' compensation insurance carrier. We truly believe that when a wreck or a work injury knocks you off course, it's our job and our calling to get you back on track, and that's what we're here to do for you.
I had a workers' compensation case, a work injury on the job that lasted for about 7 years. Um, on the job, I had a knee injury that resulted in knee surgery. I hired a number of attorneys, about four different attorneys, and still couldn't find the compensation that I needed. So finally, I was referred to Mr. Bobby Johnson's office.
The night I met Darren Mitchell, he was so far off track with his workers' compensation claim, he had no options left. Darren literally came to my office after we were closed, and his case had drug on for so long, and the circumstances of life and his prior attorneys had put him in a position he didn't know which end was up.
As I came into Mr. Johnson's office, I had my contract with me, my contract of settlement, which I did not understand the verbiage or the language in the contract. It needed someone to dissect it for me. So I gave it to the receptionist and she took it in the back. And from that point, I heard a voice in the back saying, "I'll see you." And so Mr. Johnson called me in the back, looked at the paperwork, realized that it was a no liability case, understanding and realizing that basically they were offering me a check, but they were going to turn around and eat it up in whatever, for whatever reasons. So Mr. Johnson agreed that he was going to help me pro bono, and rewrote the contract. As he rewrote the contract, it worked in my favor. I was able to get my settlement, and I can't express the amount of gratefulness that I have because of Mr. Johnson and his office and his entire staff. I would call it phenomenal. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
I knew I needed to do something, and I needed to help this man, and I was glad to do it. So Darren and I sat down and talked about his case for hours. Then I was able to reach the defense attorney on the phone after hours at her home, and we worked out a resolution that got Darren the compensation and justice that he deserved, and he's able to move on with his life now. And that's what we do here at Johnson Alday. When a wreck or a workers' compensation claim knocks you off course, we get you back on track.
Yeah, I remember the day that I got the phone call from Mr. Johnson's office telling me that my check was here. I received that check that day, but I remember the conversation that I had with the receptionist that called me. It didn't steal my joy of this case, but it did take my smile away. Well, after receiving that phone call that my check was in this office, I remember telling her that she made me smile for the first time in a long time. Thanks to this office, I was made whole again. I can put my life back together now, thanks to Mr. Johnson's office.
As a practicing attorney, what I really enjoy most is helping people get their lives back in order and moving forward, because no one ever plans to get hurt. No one ever plans to be in a car wreck. No one ever plans to lose their job. And that's really where I find the value in my job, is helping folks who have suffered a catastrophic injury or a life-changing event get through it, get past it, and move forward to the next phase of their life.
My advice to you, anyone that has a complex case, a case that you can't get any resolution to, my suggestion is to try Mr. Johnson's office. After getting the cat and the mouse, I call it pouring water in my hand and telling me it's raining. From lawyer to lawyer, my suggestion to you would be to come see Mr. Johnson in Mr. Johnson's office. I'm sure you'll be satisfied with the great care that you receive and the friendly staff that's here at Mr. Johnson's office. All I can tell you is that I'm very satisfied. I'm completely satisfied through this office, and I'm sure you will be too.